Hey everybody, Man of Action here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a battle in the Tier 8 light tank for the Russians, the T-54 lightweight, on the map Stalingrad. So a couple key things about this match is not only is it in Stalingrad, which is a city map, and a lot of people in light tanks hate getting city maps, but also it's a Tier 10 match, and it's a very heavily Tier 10 match. They've got some very dangerous Tier 10s and some very dangerous Tier 9s as well. Between those T-30s and then their Tier 10 heavies, most of the tanks in the enemy team can deal a good chunk, if not half or more, of my health with one hit. So in this match, I've got to be very careful about how I play. Now the highlight of this match is how you can survive and excel in these kind of matches by being very careful where you engage, and the main point being able to disengage. Most people have trouble with disengaging at the right time, especially in their light tanks, and just relocating yourself to where you can be more useful. So right off of the start, you'll notice I'm heading to the east side, the 890 line, with the other medium tanks and light tanks in the team. This is definitely going to be the most beneficial side of the map for any light or medium tank on Stalingrad. It's much more open, there's much more options for using your gun depression here, as you can see with these hills. And so I'm trying to get up and get a spot where I can hopefully shoot and maybe get some spots off, but I don't want to be too aggressive because I want to keep my HP for later in the game. Dying early in the game, even as just a tier 8 light tank, would be a detriment to the team. So right now I don't see anything. The only tank that is spotted is way back there, but even so, I'm not going to just go blitzing up chasing after that guy. The Centurion AX is a very good tank, and it's being driven by a fairly good player, so being overly aggressive here would be a detriment. So here we see I'm about to get a shot on this guy. I destroy the building so I can hit him, but then I realize he sees me. So I very quickly move up to get covered behind the building, and my Sixth Sense goes off. Now you'll notice Sixth Sense goes off with a 3-second delay. So even if it hasn't gone off yet, that doesn't mean you aren't spotted. And good players and medium tanks with high aim can aim at you very quickly. I missed a shot at the 1375 there. He's behind some tricky cover. Because my tier 10 mediums are moving up so aggressively, and when I see we have the advantage over here, I'm moving up with them. However, I'm making sure to keep buildings between me and the dangerous tanks up here. I decide not to go around the front of that Centurion Action 10 and instead poke a shot in behind him. Now here's one key decision that I make as far as maneuvering around. I could chase after that tier 10 medium tank right there and probably get the kill. However, I notice there's a tier 9 heavy tank to my right that would have shots on me, as well as the T-49, the tier 8 American light tank with the big howitzer. I see he does have the big howitzer. So, going back to fixed camera, this is what I was doing in game. I redirect my attention to these two guys, as they're going to be much more dangerous. I check to make sure that guy's not a threat, but I focus on these guys. Finishing the shot off on the T-49, the Centurion behind me is dead now, and I see that I have an interesting opportunity here with this M103, and you'll see in just a minute what I'm talking about. The M103 is right up behind this guy, but he has a tall turret, so I can hide myself like so. I've paused it once more. I'm going to go into free camera. I'm hiding myself right behind this dead tank in front of me, the T-49, and the M103 can't hit me because his gun is too low. But his turret is tall enough that when I'm reloaded, I can just back up and shoot his turret. And there's an easy few shots worth of damage into a tier 9 heavy. And this is where most of my damage comes from. Now here's my mistake. I back around to the side of the tank, by instinct thinking I'm side scraping, and that allows him to get a shot into me before he dies. The RU-251 over there behind me picks up the kill. So moving forward, we've taken a very serious numerical advantage. So I see this STI in front of me, and here's my main misplay in this match. I see that I can shoot through with the STI. I only have his front. I don't need to bother shooting his front, but I already have an AP loaded, so I just go for the turret. I switch to gold rounds in just a second, because I'm assuming that he can't see me through that window, but he can, and so I dealt no damage to that guy, and he put a shot into me. and that damaged me quite a bit. I'm now only on about 500 hit points. So at this point, I'm going to pause the replay and we'll look at the map. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Trying to very quickly analyze the map and see where you need to go is one of the most important things in this game. So I see that this SDI down here is going to be kind of a dangerous thing for me, but he's got other tanks to engage. I don't want to fight the mouse because there's no way I'm going to pin that, especially if he's focusing me down. I'm not going to be able to pin enough shots even if I could. And I doubt that I could get past him to the RHM that's not even spotted over here. So I decided to go around and see what I can do for finding their artillery that's somewhere back here. We know one of them was here, but we don't know where the other one is, so I decide that I'm going to go see what I can do for that. I go up here, I make a left. Now the moss is to my right, but I know because I've been paying attention to my map in that M4 that he's facing the other way. Very convenient. So here's another thing for choosing where to engage. You'll notice I just looked left and saw that both the arty are there, and then looked right and saw that the T-30 was there. I didn't tunnel vision on just the two arty. I changed my plans because I have to be fluid in a map like this. And look, an easy shot through the bus into the side of the T-30. Easy pin. But sadly, I don't quite get to reload in time. I missed my shot. It wasn't a hull shot either. So I then turn my attention back to the arty. I'm able to take out one of them, and then I wait for a second and see if I can get a shot into the other. He backs up perfectly for me. I hit him once. Don't kill him, but that doesn't matter. It's full damage. So at this point, I'm on 2 kills, and the map has progressed much further. In just a few seconds, it's gone from all those tanks around that I needed to worry about to just 3. There's the Moss, which is in a similar position, but he's almost got line of sight on me through this street here. There's the RHM, which is hunting artillery and going for our base. And the E100, which appears to be in a standoff with our E5. So I decided to see what I can do. I'm not going to try to fight the mouse, I just outrun him and keep going. I see that the Borsig does not have a line of sight on me because he's way back in the back. And so I set myself up to go find him. Now you saw me load HE rounds there for a second and then change my mind and go back to AP. The reason that I chose that is because HE to a Borsig with such low armor, even from such a small gun as my own, could still do a lot of damage, and you'll see that in a minute. As I wait to reload, and then the Borsig pulls out going for our cap, I'm able to put in a hefty shot at 307. That's way more than normal shells would. But HE can't shoot through obstructions. AP could have gone through that. However, the Leopard 1 finishes it all for me. So now we're down to 2 German tier 10 heavy tanks. The E100 on almost full health, and the Mouse, who is on about 3/4 health. So what would a tier 8 light tank do in this situation? And this is the exact situation why in every tank I carry just a little bit of gold, even if I don't feel like I need it. Because it's situations like this that it would be better to shoot a few rounds of gold to be able to pin than be worthless at this point in the game. Because of how thick the tracks are in those tanks, 1 or maybe even 2 shots from my gun couldn't even track them. So I need to focus on being able to do damage usefully where I can. It's not going to be anything massive in a tier 8 light tank, but it's the supporting damage that you need to get to be able to earn experience. And you'll see that even just a little bit of supporting damage can earn a lot of experience. So here with this E100, I don't want to be too aggressive. I've only got 524 HP. I don't want to waste it, so I'm making sure that whenever he looks like he's coming my way, I back off, I see where I can get shots to the side and back. And I see my friends surrounding him. The E5 is coming up behind him, the Leopard 1 is off to his left, so I'm seeing that I may have a chance soon. And this is it. I decide since I'm already facing this way, I'm not going to bother turning around, so I just back up and circle him. Put a shot into the back of his turret, I go for another one, and I'm able to get it, and I kill him. So 2 shots with gold rounds into his turret, and by being cautious and careful in handling that E100, I was able to get the kill. Now finally down to just the Mouse. Now one mistake I see a lot of people doing is when there's 1 tank left against plenty on our team, that'd be 7 on our team, a lot of people will just rush in, often even just 1 at a time, and 1 at a time they'll get picked off until it's a 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, and that can get things very sketchy. I see the mouse fire, and he's facing the other way, so I decided to go for it. Try to put a shot in, but it's just eaten up by his tracks. Even gold on the side of the mouse is sketchy. But as I roll up, I put a shot into his turret, and it pins. However, I'm afraid that's the last shot of the game, as the enemy artillery steals the kill. So this is just one example of how on a city map in a tier 8 light tank and a tier 10 match, you can outplay your opponents and use your mobility. Even on a city map, people say you can't use your mobility as much. There's still ways to use it, you just got to be very careful with how you do it. And this applies really to any down tier tank, especially down tier light tanks. A tier 6 light and a tier 8 match on Himmelsdorf, same sort of thing applies. Find the best situation for yourself, but don't be afraid to just turn around and go elsewhere. It's not going to help your team or you if you try to stay and die like a hero. And I have the post-battle report pulled up on my other screen. I did 2,589 damage that match. That was nowhere near the highest on my team. That Leopard 1 earlier did 5,600. However, I earned more experience than him. I earned 1,121 experience, and he only earned 977. The reason behind this is, as a down tier light tank, the more damage you do to higher tier opponents, the more XP it's worth. So even though he did more than twice my damage, because I was a down tier light tank, I earned just a little bit more experience for it. I also got the Confederate Award for hitting 6 different tanks that I didn't get the kill for. So that's just one example of how you can excel in a tier 8 light tank in a tier 10 match. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you all next time.